Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Jaraci Cup. Going to be continuing the coverage of Group Stage A. I know, I'm sorry, but there's so many of these. I'll get to casting the World Classic tournament eventually, alright? But just have patience with me. Anyway, this match actually was played long enough ago that I can't even really remember what happens, but it is between myself, that's me, and Mazrym over here, who's playing as Soban. The map is going to be Gaussian Territories Alt, which has quickly become one of my favorites that's in the tournament right now. So I've picked it quite a lot already. It's just very nice, you know what I mean? I feel like it kind of shows that Gaussian Territories is quite a map with quite a lot of potential, but just a little bit weird because of like the way that the spawn bias split goes. But once you remove that, you know, it becomes something quite playable. I've really been enjoying it anyway. Let's see. So what am I doing in this game? Looks like I'm just doing my standard. I'll just move out with some Sand Skimmers, see if I can do some damage to the Saban player's base. That is something I really like to do because I feel like Saban have some difficulty holding off this kind of early game aggression. They have the ALMs, of course, but this is going to force my opponent to make LAVs where perhaps he might not have wanted to. And maybe I can even kill off something. You can actually kill off the ALMs fairly easily if your opponent lets you get in there with Sand Skimmers. He's going to see my army coming in, but he gets shot down by the base runner and the production cruiser. Then I move back with this guy to see if I can pick up one of the artifacts. I'm probably not going to need him in the field just yet. I can always bring him over if I do, though, for like healing or something, but it's obviously not the plan here. You can see the ALM actually doing like a noticeable amount of damage these days, but still on its own not going to be able to hold this kind of a thing. And so, like I said, you can definitely, you know, have a chance to kill off these ALMs in the early game against your Civil opponent. You could do this against Coalition too, I suppose, but their carrier is much more capable of holding off your strike craft, and so I usually don't see that as being a possibility. But one ALM does go down. That's a pretty good take for me already. I could honestly leave now and be kind of okay with it. Railgun fabrication coming out very early from Mazrym. I noticed that, and he is making some LAVs. There we go. I couldn't say it for a second. For me, it's going to be assault ship fabrication, it looks like. And I wonder if that means I want to stick around with the production cruiser? Yeah, maybe it does. You can see I'm a little bit indecisive there, though, kind of changing where he's moving. It's because when I get something like this in the early game where I've picked off an ALM, I'm like, yeah, I haven't really done much, but maybe I've done enough that I could push my opponent now. But no, it looks like I am going to choose to back away. That means Refiner mode probably going to be on the way pretty soon. But I have already gotten Fleet Cap 45 and Assault Ship Fabrication on the way, so I'm going to be pretty slow there. That maybe is not the best, maybe is not the best play from me. I'll put it that way. ALM was rebuilt, you can see it over here. Power not in it this time, now it's in the range. I would probably put the power in the weapons instead, just because then you get the missile. I think the range on like the turrets, the railguns there, it's not really going to do you much against these Sand Skimmers here. Maybe if I come in with like assault ships, it makes sense now to go into range instead. But I think against Strikecraft, really, you want the missiles instead. Oh, look at that! It tells you the number of missiles now. Dang. Again, you're so cool. Anyway, Refiner mode is on the way, as you can see, as well as Interceptor Fabrication, and this extraction will go down probably not a second. Seems to be enough field control for Mazrym over there, and I'm not really going to make any Sand Skimmers at this stage of the game. I don't really want to fight a Strikecraft war here. I'd rather just tech up. So you can see I'm already getting an Assault Ship and stuff. These guys, I'll just, you know, I'll use them later on in the game, but they're kind of like not throwaway units. I don't want to lose them, but I'm not going to reinforce them at all, so they're never going to be able to fight against the Strikecraft blob, really. Looks like AAV fabrication coming out for Mazrym now. That seems like a pretty safe move. I'm wondering if he would rather not get it, though, because there's not really going to be more Sand Skimmers on the field, like I said, but you couldn't really know that. And AAV fabrication does unlock a bunch of very useful techs, like you know, missile batteries and assault cruisers and stuff like that, so probably a good move still. I don't pick up the artifact with the base runner there because he's going to take a bunch of damage if I do. He gets slowed down, obviously, when that happens. But I do have an assault ship in the area now, and LABs can actually kite assault ships still, like, pretty effectively, but it's dangerous, to say the least. Plus, If I already have the armor upgrades, which I do, only one of them to be fair, but I do have one. It's going to take a while for these LEVs to kill him, so... Second, production cruise is coming out, and I'm getting precision bomber fabrication now. I do remember this now. Just a little side note here. That thing will open up when you get bomber fabrication as Galvazian, but there's no tell on it for Coalition, which is kind of an interesting little interaction there. But anyway, it does look like, by the way, he wanted to get missile battery fabrication. I think that's probably why he got AAVs there, but I'm not sure why I'm going for precision bombers, maybe just to mix things up, honestly. I'm pretty bad with them, so I guess we'll see if I actually manage to get anything done here. But I gotta say, my opponent's still not even on 2 base, so I can almost get away with anything at this point. This production cruiser's out, by the way, and so I'll be on 3 bases before too long, and if my opponent's still not even on 2. Okay, well there comes the support cruiser. That's very good for him, because otherwise he'd be falling outrageously behind. I still think he's going to have a hard time at this, though. Assault ships just kind of trying to make their presence felt across the map, but they can't push in here, obviously. He's still very compacted. He's got a railgun. He's got that Saban carrier, so I'm not going to be able to push on my opponent here with these assault ships, but at least I can kind of keep him hemmed in on like that side of the map there. I love this LAV right here scouting, by the way. That's actually quite nice. Yeah, Mazrym still just has problems because he's not on as many bases as I am. You can see even just one railgun there, definitely being capable of holding these assault ships back, and I can't push the sand skimmers in. I mean, true, the carrier's not going to do much defense, but he does have more LAVs than me, so I'm keeping my army quite thin here, I think it's obvious to say. Going to come in here now for a pass to see if I can kill off that railgun. What was me, though, there is actually a... Well, there's also interceptors firing at LAVs there, that's fun. But anyway, there is actually a missile battery here already, so I'm going to have to back away from that. I guess that was some pretty bad miss micro there, but I managed to get them to shoot at the LEVs before they got to the missile battery. I am fairly committed to air, though, because I already got bomber tech and I've even built one too, so I start getting the recharge upgrade, and I think I'm hoping there's only one missile battery here, but that is actually true. Just one. I don't know how well bombers do against anti-air platforms anymore, though. That used to be like one of their big roles in vanilla, and I think the LAV will have just scouted him there, by the way, which is a bit unfortunate for me too. And if that's true, Mazrym is probably going to build more anti-air. But anyway, in vanilla, don't fire a missile at that guy, please. Yeah, he definitely knows about it now, though. In vanilla, the bomber is quite useful as like an anti-air destroying air unit. I guess that sounds weird, but I mean it's true. You need like a lot of anti-air units to cancel out a bomber, essentially, in vanilla. You know, the obvious choice to attack here has got to just be the main, right? Like, even if I lose 2 bombers going in there, if I kill off a support cruiser, that's completely fine. But as pretty typical, I don't really use my air units as well as I should here. I'm just kind of like playing around, flying around in the air because it's fun, but not actually, you know, hitting anything, which is something I very often do, and it's allowed my opponent to buy enough time to get 3 missile batteries out. So it's going to be difficult now for me to get much done. I should probably just tech switch to something else like Siege. That would be really good here. But it looks like I want to challenge the railguns here with the bombers. And so here you can see me going after those anti-air units. And like, yeah, to be fair, I'm going to kill this one. But at what cost? I think this guy here will definitely be killed. So I mean, losing 1 bomber to get 1 missile battery, that's like not very good. I think I did some damage to the railguns too, but... Miraculously, this managed to stop my opponent from feeling that he could chase the base sprinters. That actually got me an extraction, which I'm kind of confused about. I feel like that shouldn't have happened, but... I'm getting railgun fabrication now, so that is my tech switch. That's going to be a good one. Because obviously having so much more economy than my opponent, it's not going to be too hard to imagine that the railgun war would go my way. I've also got that air presence still, and so if I can just get rid of the missile batteries, then I can pop in there too. I'm also going in for a bit of backstep here, which I think is pretty nice. But see how there's anti-air over here on the main? Before that was there, I really should have like killed that support cruiser. I mean, that should have been pretty easy too. Oh, ooh. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. I think I'm gonna do it. Well, that's not good. This is not really a good use of bombers, I don't think. Yeah, this guy's gonna get docked, which is good, but you see how many interceptors I lost there already. And I'm also kind of trying to take the fight now with his LAVs using my sand skimmers. I don't know about that. I imagine Sport Cruiser Anti-Air will come out if I continue with this kind of aggression for too long. This is pretty good though. I have managed to get up into my opponent's face over on this side. He still has the power in the range, so the ALM's not going to slow me down at all. And I kind of try to dodge the mortars there, but not very well. Looks like the railguns are in position to stop me though, but yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. If they're over there, then they can't be here, which means that the assault ship can get up close. I'm also coming up with the sand skimmers too, although I should be careful I don't get mortared here. There's no split button like there is in Age of Empires, so... But yeah, you can see I'm holding my opponent off of the third base just for even a little bit longer. And Honor Guard cruisers are coming out now, as well as assault cruisers for Mazrym, which is interesting to see as well. Honor Guards, really? I feel like I just need railguns here. I don't know. Let's see what these bombers are going to do. Again, I don't have high hopes for this. Looks like they just want to kill railguns. Which, you know, they can do, but... you can see bombers are quite hardy, like they don't want to die here, but they will eventually. that much is for certain. Maybe I can kill off another missile battery here though. I mean, I guess it's true when you have this many bombers you can get away with a lot with them, but I still lost another bomber there, I think actually to the LAVs if I'm not mistaken. He took a bunch of damage to the missile batteries, then the LAVs popped them off. But yeah. Not really the best bomber play, I think it's obvious to see. And actually my army is completely gone now, which is kind of awkward. So I'm making another bomber because that's obviously going to change things a lot. The big news though is that I am holding the GG artifacts right here, so that is good for me. Mazrym's unlocked his carrier now. And what I mean by that, of course, he's got 3 support cruisers on his bases, so this guy's free to go wherever he wants. But his army is looking pretty thin too, it's really just LAVs. I have assault ship tech, but I don't seem to want to make it. I'm going with sand skimmers instead. So I'm going to send the bomber in here, just to give some grief to the LAVs, perhaps. Is Sport Cruiser Anti-Air on the way? No, it's not. And I'm wondering if we're going to see that kind of be the meta, that Coalition players don't really get Sport Cruiser Anti-Air anymore since it's been nerfed in the patch. But I guess we'll just have to see. I guess I never got the ammo upgrade, or did I? No, I did. I feel like that guy only fired 2 shots, though. There's a missile battery here, though. I want to be careful. And I think with the ammo upgrade for bombers, it's really, really good if your opponents don't have anti-air, but once they do, it's kind of like, are you really going to be able to stick around and fire that many shots? Also, you can see bombers don't take much damage from LIVs, do they? If you get the damage upgrades on them, they do take a little bit more, but they've got 15 armor as a base, which is quite a bit, so difficult to kill them that way. I should probably be getting, yeah, assault ships, there you go. Just because this blob is, like, quite large. But I do have honor guards out on the field, which is kind of the anti-blob unit, if there ever was one. I noticed that there's no railguns left for Mazrym now. I feel like both of our armies are a lot smaller than I would expect them to be here. Siege is on the way for me now. Mazrym looks like he's going for artillery, so he wants to go down that route as well. This could be disastrous. It's not as bad as it could have been, but still, especially with an assault ship here as well. And it's also worth noting there's double base runner heal going on this base here, so it's unlikely that really many salvagers are going to die, though I did see one go down. But the honor guard cruiser managing to get 2 shots off there, and that's a lot of damage being done to those LAVs. And then let's see what the bombers are doing, probably just getting themselves killed in unique ways. Yeah. There's only one left now. Again, not really sure what I'm doing with these guys, but... Oh, I was like, how can I be fleet cap? There's like nothing on the field. Yeah, well, I still don't have fleet capacity 105 yet. Which again is interesting. I'm not totally sure what I'm doing in this game, but it seems to be working. LAV's of course getting chunked by the honor guard cruiser once again. If he gets another shot off, I think they're all dead. But it looks like they are going to get... Nope, no, not quite. They did indeed get shot by that one. And Mazrym's carrier is still in a pretty aggressive position here, but he can't do anything really because he doesn't have any of those power reserves unlocked. Both of us are starting to float quite a lot of resources, but especially CUs for me. I've got like 3,000 of them now. Probably just because I can't spend them because, yeah, I'm fleet capped, but I'm fixing that now, which is good. And there we go. Heavy railguns finally, finally starting to come out from me as I hiccup a lot. And these guys, along with the underguard cruisers, ought to be able to finish this one off. Obviously, Soban Rail is much more cost-effective and generally just better than Galician ones, but I've got the head start on him, and economy-wise, we're pretty even now, but we weren't before, and especially with that LAV blob getting taken out. That's most of his resources just kind of down the drain. I'm really not sure what I was doing this game, but like I said, it seems to have worked, so maybe I just shouldn't worry about it. Base runners are headed toward the extraction zone, and it does not look like anything's going to be able to stop them. Quite a bunch of sandskimmers here, both honor guard cruisers kind of in position there. Triple probe gets sent out, which I like, but that's not going to do anything, obviously. There's really just no way to stop these base runners at this point. I'm much better with railguns than I am with air. I think that's pretty clear to say. But that is going to be game. And I'll go ahead and move on to the next one, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Actually done. Let's wait for the music to play. I like it. It's always a good sound.